Hello. Okay, perfect. Today we'll be starting with the basics of JavaScript, which is the third technology. We can all download this from Node.js. I'll give you the link from this website. And once you have it up and running, we'll start off with the JavaScript basics. So the first thing we need to keep in mind is that in JavaScript, programming works as it does with most other languages. So this is not a markup language like HTML or styling like CSS, but here we are doing plain scripting. We'll be calling commands and functions to run our code. And we'll also be using variables. So let us start off with creating a variable called test. So let test equals to 1. And we can print this value that you might have learned. Node.js doesn't keep the type of variable that you put in mind. So for example, if you put numbers and here you put down strings like hello, Node.js doesn't mind, it will still rewrite the variable. But in other languages, for example, TypeScript, Go, and sometimes Python, you statically define the type of every variable you write, but that's not the case here. So we can update variables like this, and we can use console log to print this. The next thing we'll be discussing is arrays. So these are lists of values that you can put into one variable. For example, if we write down let arr equals a square bracket, and then we can put down any values we want. So like 1, 4, 9, 16, and then we console.log this array. You can see that it has been printed. And with arrays, one very nice thing you can do is loop through each of the values and perform specific functions with it. So we're going to be using the for loop for this. And this might be similar to the syntax of for loop in other languages, if you know them, for example, Python. So we can type down for brackets let uh, elements of array, and then we put down curly brackets, and then we take this console log and we log the element instead. You can see that for each value of the array, we can console log it or do any operation. For example, if we do element star 2, it doubles everything. So yes, uh, that is how elements are dealt with in arrays. Another data type that we'll encounter often, and in fact the most, they're called the objects. And objects are basically key value pairs, which means you can define one key and its value, its unique value. Let's go over an example. So if we do let test equals, and here we're going to be using curly brackets. And here if we type down a colon 1. So here A is the key and 1 is the value. And B colon 2, C colon 3, and so on. We can use specific values of this test variable. For example, if we type down test and we put square brackets, and then we put, for example, B, the thing that will be logged. Wait, yeah, you have to use test.b for objects. So what we can see here is that 2 has been printed, which is the value of B here. So for example, you can change values from test using the same methods. Like for example, test dot b equals 4, and you can see 4 has been printed. And if you want, you could print the whole thing, and you can see that 4 has been modified, b has been modified. Yes, and now that we've covered these basic things, we'll be looking at how we can use JavaScript inside of our HTML app, how we can embed it inside our HTML app. So if we open our index.html, run it using the live server, like we had done before. And if you just give me a moment, I'll open this and set it here beside. Yes, perfect. So let's take an example. And for examples for JavaScript, the best one is using buttons. And this is one thing that's used in a lot of websites a lot of times. So if you put down the button tag BT on button, and inside we write something like click me. And we can use styles to make this button look more appealing. So button background color, something like hash 246 369. Color white, border radius 3px, padding 4px, 8px. Yes. Now we can use JavaScript to define certain events and the code that you run inside of the button. So there is this parameter called onClick that you can use, and here you can call your JavaScript for. So for example, if you type down alert, now this is a very special browser function that brings up a pop-up window and shows whatever you want. So for example, type down test, but if you click this button, you can see that an alert window with test has been brought up. So you can use a lot of functions here. For example, if you do confirm test, and on this, confirm is another function that we can use to bring up a dialog like that. And you could even use prompt, which brings up a text prompt. Now, there's this useful tool inside of Chrome DevTools that we can use to debug and test our JavaScript. And you can go over to the console, and here you can type down your JavaScript. So, for example, if you do alert test, you can see that the alert has been done. Yes. So you can see that this function returned this value undefined. So you can use value set functions return. So for example, if you use confirm in the same way, and if you do OK, you can see that this function returns true. Now we can use the if statement of JavaScript to act upon that value. So for example, if we do if bracket confirm test, confirm test, we can use curly brackets and for example alert um hello, and end this curly bracket, and it will use the value of whatever is returned by confirm to check whether the alert should be made. So if we run this and if we press OK, you see the alert, but if we don't press OK, you don't. So you can do logical stuff like that, and this can go pretty complex. Uh, so we can use this example right here. So if you type down, for example, if confirm, yeah, whatever, it would work. One more thing that we can use here, let me remove this on click and this button. I'll show you. There's a special tag that you can use inside of head. It's called the script tag. So if you write down script and alert test, you can see that it alerts test before loading the page. Um, you can move the script if you want below the body tag, and well, yes, it still alerts every time and the page is loaded. So it doesn't matter, it should be outside of the body tag preferably, and you can run your code inside of here. So one more thing we'll use here. So for example, you can see that we've used div id equals content. So we can refer to this div and play with it using JavaScript. So if you do, for example, content dot inner HTML, So you can see right here that we're using the object syntax. And so the thing that we're using content. So content is regarded here as an object. So if we take this whole thing, put it below the div so that the div is loaded when you're playing with it, and use content in HTML equals, say this works. Let's see if it works. And yes, you can see that this JavaScript has changed the content of this. So we could, for example, create a button with an ID of button and define its on click. So for example, here we're going to be using functions. So if we create a function click handler, brackets, and then curly brackets. So this is the syntax of a function. You type down function, you type down the name, you put down these parentheses and then curly brackets. And inside of the curly brackets, you could put something like that. I do button dot on click equals click handler, and then put down something like click me. So when you click this, you can see that the contents in HTML has been edited. So you could use this syntax in a way, special way, content dot in HTML plus, and then maybe put a BR tag. And so you can see that this adds to the inner HTML and sets it to whatever was originally in there, plus a BR, plus this works. And then here you could do the same thing again. Button dot on click is click handler, so that it works with subsequent calls. And you can see that we've made our web page interactive. Now, are there any questions that you would like me to answer? I'll be waiting in the chat. Okay, looks like there are none. Um, please give me one sec. Friends, or are there? Um, can we make a sound when the button is clicked? Yes. So let's look for an audio file, for example. Wait, is there like an audio that I could use? Maybe I'll download a test audio and show you guys how it's done. One sec. Let's wait for it to load. Um, press symbol. Let's just download anything. Downloads. One moment. There seems to be something wrong here. Yeah. Okay, it works. So we've put this audio here as audio.wave. So you can call this function called new audio and put down that name audio.wave and then dot play. If you call that, it should work. And I don't know if you're hearing this through the same stream, but it works. This is the code. So when you define the button ID and you set the on click to your own function, which calls this audio file and plays it. Uh, Clicking this button um, makes the audio file play. I'll give you the code right now if you want it. No probs. Okay. Perfect. Moving on to Atib.
All right. Okay, thank you very much, Wunsch. All right, let me show you all nerds how shit actually looks like. Okay, just give me a sec. Open with preview. Okay. Right. So, first thing you want to know is whenever you like get a project, right? Okay. So the first thing that you do, the first thing that I'd like to do is obviously write everything down, right? For that you have a tool called Figma. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up over here. Just a second. Though my Wi-Fi is acting out right now, so I don't know if I'll be able to. But right, so you basically create a top. You're gonna learn. Okay, first of all, let me tell you guys something. You're gonna learn in these next months that the things that we're teaching you, they're quite similar to the things that they taught you in IGCSE, okay, IGCSE or levels, right? So you're gonna realize that, oh my freaking god, paper two actually came in handy. Okay, like for instance, you create top-down diagrams, you create flowcharts. As a developer, whenever you're like freelancing, you create a project markdown. Okay, you have boxes, features, and then in those features you have more features and more features and more features, basically describing everything, right? So you're gonna learn that, holy shit, this is exactly like the stuff that I learned in IGCSE, right? And honestly, with that, I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. It's gonna be quite similar. Okay, when I read when I first did the IGCSE syllabus, I was like, oh shit, this is all I'm already doing this stuff. Also, is my voice like clear? Is it glitching out or something? Because like my Wi-Fi has been acting out. Is my voice clear so far? Like, is it glitching out or anything like that? Okay, great. All right. So, all right. Let me just pull this up right over here. I pulled it up. Let me see if I can. Uh, right. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me show you guys an example of the top-down diagram thing that I was talking about. Okay. You have this Figma file right over here, right? So this was a kind of a game that I was working on. This was the kind of game that I was working on, right? So you can see the diagrams over here. You know, this was the main feature, this was a sub feature, this went into more sub features, and then more, and then more, and then more. Basically, like a kind of like a huge top-down diagram, right? Except it's not like meant to be that formal. Like it doesn't go like, it's not just squares. It's a lot of stuff. It's stylish. Okay, it's stylish. There's notes everywhere, right? Notes made by me. Even more features, more features. You know, even more features and tables, right? So a lot of stuff, okay? A lot of stuff that comes in. And this is just one example. Okay? This is just one example. There's other things as well. There's for the second thing that I'm going to talk about is the what do you call it? A wireframe, or was it a work frame? I forgot. So like for instance, this was like kind of like a project that I was working on. Also, this is my handwriting and my drawing, so I already know how good that looks. But basically, this was like kind of like a project I was working on. The UI of the website, right? So it was like basically pen and paper, right? I only drew this. Of course, it's not gonna look like it. Just gives you like a general idea of how each page looks like, right? So you're gonna notice you're gonna be making a lot of these as well. So honestly speaking, I think everybody here who does software development can agree with me that software development isn't just like coding or anything, especially if you're managing the whole project, right? Especially if you're managing the whole project. It's a lot more, if you're doing it on a low level, it's a lot more about UIs, you know, designing, creativity. And even if you're doing a job or something where they only require you to do that, you're going to need a lot of cooperation, right? You're going to need to know how people around you work, and you're gonna need a lot of patience to read their code, okay? Especially if, especially because it's really hard to understand another programmer's code, okay? So, what's my point to all of this, okay? I want to tell you guys that, first of all, if you're doing this for the money and not because it's your interest, okay, eventually you're gonna realize this is the thing that I said on day one. I'm gonna repeat it again. Eventually you're gonna realize that shit, this is getting boring. I'm gonna give up. Don't stress out. Even if you're doing this for the money, it's fine, but make sure it's something that you enjoy doing. Okay, I always say this: don't do something because it makes you money. Do something you love and make money out of it. Okay, so what the point to all of this is that honestly, I suggest you guys one thing. Okay, you know a lot about HTML, you know a lot about CSS, and the things that we didn't teach you, you can easily find it on the website that we talked to you guys about, W3 Schools. Okay, you can easily talk about, you can easily like research more on tags, on elements, right? All that kind of stuff on W3 Schools. My suggestion to you guys is find a partner. Okay, there's only 10 of you here today. All right, that's fine. But my suggestion to you guys right now is to find a partner. Okay, and what will you guys be doing? Okay, so if you have a partner here, yeah, you make a partner, you make friends, right? If you have a partner, what you can do is that you create your own websites. I'm not saying like collaborate on one project. We're not gonna do that yet. We're only gonna do that when it comes to Git, all right? But when you have a partner, the thing is, whenever you get a bug, okay, and me and Vansh are not available, you can easily go to that partner, or even if it's like a small bug and you're like, I know I'm a student myself, everybody here is a student myself, it sometimes gets awkward to ask like stupid questions, but like with a partner you can like just ask him anything and he's gonna be helpful to you as well, and you guys can be helpful to each other. Heck, you can, if you like, if your cooperation is good, you can even work on a project together, you know, just small stuff, small steps, right? So I'd suggest that you guys find like a partner, maybe make a group or something, like 3 4 people, it doesn't matter, but have somebody that is learning from this course as well along with you guys. And if you find a partner to work with, he's gonna help you and you're gonna help him. It's gonna be like a back-to-back relationship. Okay, so having a partner will really help you guys out. Okay, and secondly, this is like just at minimum like 30 minutes a day. Right, exactly. We're here to help. Yes. So this is like 30 minutes a day, 45 minutes a day, you know, Monday through Thursday. Um, what I suggest you guys is that, okay, bro, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna repeat this every single day till you guys do it eventually, okay? W3 Schools is going to be your amazing friend, the friend that you never thought you would need. Okay, you're gonna go to W3 Schools. You're gonna click on HTML. You're gonna click on CSS. You don't need to click on JavaScript yet. Today, whatever one just taught you, work on that. Try to use that as well. Okay, but you just click on these. You see all of these different things. I want you guys to do them all. Okay. Well, not the hard part. Okay, not the hard part. You don't need to go that far down, but at least like the basic tutorials. This thing right over here, and forms and graphics and media. You don't need to go anything below the APIs. Yeah, you don't need to go below this. This is the more complicated stuff. Just like this basics. Okay. And as for CSS, I'd suggest you do almost everything. Yeah, I'd suggest you do everything here. Besides the responsive rest. This is where we're gonna get to this in a by next week or by the end of this week, maybe on Friday. Speaking of, we missed a class last week on the Thursday. We're gonna make up for that this Friday. Okay, so it's gonna be the same timing. It's gonna be 16 o'clock GMT plus 0 to 17 o'clock GMT plus 0. And yeah, with that, today's session's kind of come to an end. Yeah, exactly. All the yes, micro Mozilla developer. Yeah. Oh fuck, no, 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 fuck. Okay, yeah, yeah, okay. Use both websites. Okay. What do you call it? You honestly, any resource you have, fine. And if you're ever having an error, like trust me, it's fine to just like Google like how the fuck do you log to console in HTML. You can just Google it, okay? People are gonna help you out as well, okay? Plus, there's probably a lot of Stack Overflow questions, right? Like, look over here. This is an easy question like this. There's a lot of things that can help you, right? And we do this every single day, okay? And of course, ChatGPT. ChatGPT is gonna be your best friend. Like, if I open up ChatGPT, let me see if I can find the dude. Uh, right here. Right. Right. ChatGPT is gonna be a good friend as well. Exactly. You're gonna love the community. Speaker, Copilot, yeah, GitHub Copilot, yeah, okay. Cheat from ChatGPT. Uh, Waltz, did you have something to? Okay, I'm gonna wait for you to ask. Uh, Also, one more suggestion, guys. One more suggestion. Don't ever drink sparkling water, okay? Don't ever drink sparkling water. That shit has traumatized me. Now I gotta finish the entire fucking can, even though I hate it. Yeah. All I wanted was like, it was cold, so I loved. It's just carbonated water. How to make an input box in JavaScript work? Can you review my JavaScript code after this? Well, the first query right over there. We're gonna answer that this week. Okay, we're gonna cover a lot of JavaScript this week, including how to function buttons, how to function with inputs, how to function forms, all of that shit. That we're gonna do that this week. This week and the next week. We're gonna do about 2 to 3 weeks on pure JavaScript. So that question is gonna be answered shortly, or just go YouTube. All right, if you want to get ahead of the course, that's completely fine with us. Just YouTube. Okay, and can you repeat my? Yeah, exactly. Just post your JavaScript code into the thread. Are we gonna learn how to hack Roblox to get Robux? No, you are not, because that comes into hacking. That comes into unethical hacking, and we are not teaching unethical hacking. Exactly. So we're gonna do. We're not gonna teach you to do anything illegal, mate. Not gonna teach you to do anything illegal. We do not endorse any illegal activities. Educational purposes, we can help you make a web page for educational purposes, but we're not going to endorse or motivate anybody here to what do you call it, to do illegal activities. But yeah, I think that's enough fun for today. Once you have anything else to add?
Nope, that's about it.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for your time. Have a nice rest of your day, and goodbye.